Well, it's just about that time as we are less than 2 months away. Hopefully, I don't think they've officially announced anything yet, but hopefully less than 2 months away from the release of College Football 27. So let's start planning ahead. Let's start looking ahead at the teams I am most excited to use when that game comes out, and no team jumped off the page at me faster than the Colorado Buffaloes, mainly thanks to who they hired to be their new offensive coordinator, Brennan Marion. He was the offensive coordinator at UNLV for the College Football 25 video game. Last year, he was the head coach at Sacramento State. Now he is going to Boulder to help coach Prime and bring the go-go to the Rocky Mountain. So how we're going to do this, we're going to get our best idea of what that depth chart is going to look like next year, mainly just looking at transfer portal guys that are coming in at offensive skill positions, who's Colorado losing, who is coming in. We're going to hop into practice mode with that go-go playbook. I expect it to be pretty dang similar from how it is in the game right now to how it's going to look at Colorado, because the one in the game right now was the same one UNLV had in College Football 25. I'm expecting Colorado to have the same in College Football 27. And no, we are not done with Road to the College Football Playoff in College Football 26. I just haven't really felt like playing it recently. And, the videos are just about having fun, trying different things, just having a good time. I can't really force that. And if I don't feel like playing, I just don't really feel like playing. That feeling will come around again before too long, but I wouldn't be expecting a ton of Road to the College Football Playoff videos in College Football 26 up until the release of College Football 27. Eventually, we're going to have to get back into that rhythm, get that spark going again. Nothing's going to do that more than when campus tour comes around for College Football 27. But anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand here, the Colorado Buffaloes. Let's take a look at their depth chart first, then practice mode with that go-go offense. So Colorado is losing a lot in terms of the transfer portal, 100%. But who they got coming in, this team is going to be very, very good in College Football 27. Start with our quarterback, Julian Lewis, 80 overall, 83 speed in the game this year. Man, do I wish we had Caden Salter for the go-go offense. That really would have been a good time, but I think Julian Lewis will do just fine. He's got 83 speed, he's got good agility, good acceleration, option king off platforms, because the go-go is a lot of QB runs, options, things like that. So having a good mobile quarterback is going to go a long way. Julian Lewis should be able to do that just fine. Now at halfback, this is where the changes are going to start to come in. We are keeping Micah Welch on the roster. He might be the only one, but at least we got one that is sticking around here. Dallin Hayden is going to be transferring out to, I had it written down here, he is going to be going to Memphis, which is really too bad. So we did the campus tour with Colorado. Hayden was awesome. He scored all 5 touchdowns for us in that game. Incredible stuff. Simeon Price is going to be going to Oregon, so he is gone, and Taylor is a senior, so he is gone. But we are going to keep Micah Welch, and coming in, we have 2 from Sacramento State following Coach Marion. So obviously they're not in this game. We can't really show or really have much of a guess of what their stats are going to look like. Hopefully good, but fingers crossed. Who we do have coming from the Crimson Tide is going to be halfback Richard Young. So we pull up Alabama here, right here, 77 overall, 90 speed with shifty. Going to be coming in to help out Micah Welch because, of course, the go-go, it does utilize 2 halfbacks. So just between Young and Welch, I think we're looking pretty good. Obviously, could be a lot better, but better than UNLV was in College Football 25 to run the go-go. Then we have a freshman coming in. There was another sophomore who wasn't in the game this year, plus those Sacramento State halfbacks. I think we're mostly looking okay at the halfback position, and with Julian Lewis at quarterback, we like where Colorado's at right now. Now, where there's going to be a lot of changes is going to be at the Colorado wide receivers. Just like what we saw with the halfbacks, our top guy not going anywhere, Joseph Williams, still going to be on Colorado next season. Where the pain starts to come in, Omarion Miller is transferring to Arizona State, so he is going to be gone. Sincere Brown, a senior, he is gone. 6'5", 97 speed would have been so good to have with those RPOs and things in the go-go offense, but unfortunately, he is going to be gone. Draylon Miller, he is going to be transferring to Baylor, so long to you, friend. Quentin Gibson is going to be coming back. So the freshman last year has sidestep, has 92 speed. So between our top 5, right now we've only got Gibson and we've got Williams. Still not a bad 2 to have. If you had to pick 2, I mean, you'd probably pick Sincere Brown, but if you had to pick other 2 out of the top 6, those are probably your top 2. Hakeem Williams is going to be coming back. This contested specialist, 6'2" with Press Pro. Terrell Timmons, he is going to be gone. He's a senior, it says on here, but he's transferring to Memphis, so I don't know if he's got a red shirt in there somewhere. I'm not entirely sure on that. This one hurts as well though. Freshman Platinum Shifty Cam Michael is gonna be going to Georgia Southern of all places. That one surprised and depressed me a little bit. So who we got coming back here? Williams, Gibson, and Williams. 2 Williams, easy enough. But now when we get to who's coming in from the transfer portal, loaded. Love the wide receivers we got coming in. We'll just go alphabetical order on teams. First is going to be Miami of Ohio and Mr. Cam Perry, who last year for the Red Hawks, just shy of 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns on the season, 86 overall, 93 speed. Yes, we're losing Sincere Brown. Yes, we're losing Cam Michael, but Cam Perry is going to be able to step in and at least fill that gap a little bit. Down the line, let's go to San Jose State up next, and Danny Scudero, who's going to be coming in, and he was unbelievable for San Jose State last year. Remind you a little bit of, was it Nash, the receiver they had the year before, who like won the Triple Crown? I think so. But Danny Scudero, 1,300 receiving yards last year, 10 touchdowns on the board, and 88 overall, 90 speed wide receiver, double dip, cutter, sure hands, and layout. This is why I was talking about that. I think Colorado's wide receiver room is going to be totally fine next season. Because really, we can talk about it more when we actually get into the playbook, but because there's a lot of other stuff other than GoGo in there, where having all of these wide receivers can come in very handy. Last but not least, a wide receiver from Texas, DeAndre Moore Jr., also going to be joining the fold here. 87 overall, 90 speed, double dip, and sidestep. So again, the losses certainly hurt that Colorado wide receiver room, but who they got coming in, I really, really like. Now, of course, we can't actually like put them on the depth chart when we go into practice mode here and look at Colorado with the GoGo, but we'll just have to use our imagination. So let's go to Colorado. Let's give them the GoGo offense. Let's put this on All-American, sure. We'll throw this over to the GoGo, and then we'll be good to GoGo, if you will. So the GoGo offense, well, 4-2-5 doesn't matter. Keep it against Nebraska, doesn't really matter. Let's hop into practice mode and take a look. The GoGo offense. Overall, let's start actually without the GoGo. We got 4 different formations of it here. I am personally a big fan of it. I love to use an UNLV in College Football 25. Big reason why we're excited to use Colorado. But elsewhere in this playbook, you have some other split back sets, which are still going to be solid in here. I'm mainly just going to focus on a few other formations. There's a lot of good stuff in this playbook, a lot of really good stuff. That's kind of why I'm hoping they just copy and paste this for Colorado next year. You have cluster halfback strong. In my opinion, not as good as just the regular cluster that Notre Dame has. For whatever reason, they're the only ones in the entire game that get it. Maybe that'll change next year. We'll see. I just like when we're running the ball that it's going towards all the people and all of our blockers, but still cluster halfback strong, very solid formation to have in here with the different mesh posts, flanker drive, all good, post dig, PA read, good run plays, some good stuff in there. You do get some tight doubles, again, not as good as some of the other ones, specifically like Fresno State's, but still you got some solid stuff in here. You got a few bunches. The main things though are me trips X nasty. I love this formation. I think this formation is fantastic because you have plays like that quick fork zig, and I believe we have one other one, or yeah, slot fade H wheel here too, where that route our outside receiver on. You can see it looks a little different. It doesn't look like just a standard slant, because it's not, because he actually waits at that line of scrimmage for an extra second or two and then goes out on his route. So it absolutely is going to kill pretty much any sort of drop zone coverage. It does well against man. Just overall a very, very good route. So we're going to have Miller going to be on it here, and just watch how Miller kind of runs this. He stops, he waits, and then he goes. Everybody else follows those other guys deep. Fantastic play. Really good, especially down in like the red zone goal to go type situations. Really, really good play to have in trips X nasty mixed in with these other things. And the biggest plus side of it is kind of like why I was saying I like regular cluster better. When we do an inside zone type run, we're running towards that 3 receiver side where we have all the blockers over there. But we have those routes. B goes on that PA cross shot, very good play. The verticals out of here, really good. High-low dig, very good. Like trips X nasty, one of my favorite trips in the game. I absolutely love it. So that's going to be a go-to for us. Cluster halfback strong, tight doubles, and you even got a little bit of pistol bunch, and it's actually a very good pistol bunch, where we have all of our favorite bunch plays. Corner strike, you have Seattle, you have flanker drive, and you got your runs in here too. All around make it a very, very good formation. Halfback zone, out a bunch of fantastic run. You have some Y-off trips, some different pistol things too. You have some split backs if you really want to be a psycho. I don't think these are very good, but but maybe that's just me. What do I know? So that is going to be the base of the outside GoGo stuff you can go to. Still a very solid playbook. Now, when we get to the actual GoGo is really where the fun begins. You know, so there's going to be a lot of options. There's going to be a lot of RPOs. And because there are so many different triple options and things like that, that's why it's so important. You have two good halfbacks that can get into that backfield. That triple option to the right, you got an RPO over, well, I'd flip it now because this is how I'd actually run it. So triple option right, the RPO going over to the right. And what I love about this formation specifically, GoGo offset over. And they do have these in, I believe it's the spread option generic playbook, but obviously the rest of the playbook outside of the GoGo stuff is different. And it's called Duo, not GoGo. Just as a total aside, I threw in for no reason. But what I love about this formation specifically is if you are playing somebody who is not using a coverage shell, this is essentially going to give away what kind of defense they're going to be in. So if we call this RPL, and we're going to look at a difference here, if we'll just put them in nickel mint, whatever, just put them in some sort of man coverage like a Sam Mike 1 with no shell, we can see how this is set up. This pretty obviously looks like man coverage, right? You see people manned up, people lined up, kind of where you would assume a man coverage look would be. But now if we call that exact same play, exact same spot on the field, but put them in some sort of drop zone coverage, like we'll just throw them in a Tampa 2 here, for example. Now we have this corner just standing all the way out on, like right under, let me get it right like down there. He is just off in no man's land doing nothing. So that tells us he's going to be in zone coverage here, and we could throw this RPO more likely than not. Now, some hard flats from the slot corner could still get down and play it. You can't just snap and decide, oh, he's got a corner over there. We are just throwing the RPO. But more likely than not, Ed is going to work out for you. So as long as they're not in a covered shell, we can determine what defense our opponent is going to be in, and then we can hot route and audible and do all sorts of different stuff to try to punish whatever that defense may be. Also, this G-load option run is unbelievable. This is one of the best option runs in the entire game. It kind of works like what I was saying with that Trip Sex Nasty and that cluster, because now we are doing an option run out towards all of our blockers. We got everybody on one side of the field, our tight end, our two wide receivers, and that's going to use the extra halfback to get out and be an extra blocker for you too. So if we call this G-load option, we'll just put them in a random defense. It doesn't really matter. Oh, it's a zone defense. Because again, there's a corner out there just doing absolutely nothing. So if we check our blocking on this, nobody's picking up that defensive end there. So that's the main guy we are going to be worried about here on our side. As long as we can get by him, that blocking looks awful nice, doesn't it? You see our halfback going out to pick up that outside corner, our outside receiver going up to pick up that safety. You got the slot on slot. We got the linebackers all manned up. All looks fantastic. So we'll see if we can get around him, and then we pitch it at the last second, give it to our guy Welch. Glad you're sticking around, buddy. Glad you're sticking around, buddy. Everybody comes down at the quarterback. That last second pitch off. You got enough blockers out there. Reload option. Unbelievable play. I really hope. In 25, it was really good. In 26, it's been good. Really hoping they don't mess with it too much coming up here in 27. But overall, GoGo offset over is definitely my favorite of the different GoGo formations. I think it just gives you the best mix of different things you can do. You have those different options, the G load option, the triple options, load option, option reverse, like whatever option you can dream up of in your head is probably in GoGo offset over. You also have these RPO alert halfback flats. This is going to be something I believe is in every single variation of the GoGo. There's another play we can go to if we see they're in like a zone coverage, because we have all of our blockers going to that flat. With a zone, they probably won't have enough defenders out there to be able to cover that halfback there as well. So just a great mix. The halfback punch is good, just standard run play with the inside zone. And then these two plays here, the zone toss and the fake toss verticals. Because I feel like every year one of the metas is going to be like a double mug mid blitz, just bring everybody down, really condense a defense. But something like a zone toss, that's why in like gun bunch strong offset, having the tosses out of there do really well, because the defense is all condensed towards the middle. Same kind of thing with this zone toss, where you can kind of use that against the defense and get outside of that. Then when they start trying to key in on that a little bit, then you bring out the fake toss verticals. And again, this is a fantastic play to know if they're in man or if they are in zone. because you're almost always going to have somebody open on this play. You might want to do a hot route, like if they're showing man coverage, put a drag or a quick slant or something in RB instead of that deep crosser. That seems to not win quite as much. Whereas if they're in zone, you're going to have one of those halfbacks, either the wheel route or the flat are going to be open every single time. And being able to tie all of that together is why just the regular GoGo offset over, definitely my favorite between the four we're going to look at here, and makes for just a nasty offense, especially when we get those wide receivers that Colorado's got going in. We only use 2 in this formation and in over weak, but in offset and slot open, we are actually using 3 receivers. We're having Perry from Miami of Ohio, Scudero from San Jose State, and the guy from Texas whose name escapes me right now, with the 2 receivers coming back. You'll be able to mix and match and find whatever combination we like to do in these different formations. So that's offset over. Then we go to offset over weak. So the difference between these, the sidecar, which is what they call the 2 halfbacks in the backfield there, just goes from the right of the quarterback to the left. So I would come out with this flipped. If you have a right-handed quarterback, runs are just going to work a little bit better going this way. Really not the biggest fan of this formation. There are times when that RPO read halfback flat can work, and with it being one of the read RPOs, you can just hold A and keep it with your quarterback here as well if you decide to do that. We're going to, because we can see that edge coming down after the halfback, so we'll just keep it with Juju Lewis. Nice to have those wheels on that quarterback, and we definitely could have dumped that one down to the flat as well. So this really is kind of like a triple option play. Any read option essentially is, because we can either just give it to Hayden, we can throw it to Welch, or we can just keep it with Julian Lewis. We'll throw this one over to Welch, try to get on one-on-one, try to make something happen there for us. Doesn't really work out, but we just wanted to show there are 3 options you can do on those kind of RPOs. You got your just basic inside zone. You have another RPO in here, which it's nice to just have those quick hitting RPOs to your slot receivers. Of course, we're going to have more options. Another load option. You have an outside zone run, which is going towards the tight end and your 2 wide receivers, with your other halfback in that sidecar formation trying to go up and get the defensive end who's trying to crash that from behind. A DIY sweep reverse. Some of the plays get a little too wild, even for me a little bit. So there are times where this is a solid formation, but just not a ton of variety, not a ton of stuff I love in it, but still some fun things in there. So then we go to GoGo offset. So now we're getting to that 3 receiver set instead of that tight end right next to our tackle. We're going to have 3 receivers on the field for this one with our sidecar to the right in this situation. At least after I flip it. So your sidecar is opposite of the 2 wide receivers. You got another good sneaky little RPO in there, another inside zone. These are going to be more for passing, as we'll see as we go through the actual formations. A lot more pass options in these other ones. Are they very good? I don't know. I'm not the biggest offset. I do like slot open a little bit more. We do have another RPO with your halfback going to the flat, of course. PA wheelie, some more RPO, some more speed options. Now we get a little jet motion involved here too. The halfback punch jet, play action, and a regular old jet touch pass. You have a regular punch run. That slot cross play, I actually do like that one quite a bit. Just maybe throw like a Texas route or something on A. And you can throw any halfback hot route on either of your halfbacks here. So you could put A on a Texas route and RB on a Texas route. I don't know why you would do that, but if you really wanted to, you could. You know, you can go streak Texas route. You can do anything for a halfback you can do on either one of the 2 halfbacks in that sidecar formation, which is kind of nice. You know, you can kind of do maybe like a little mini mesh underneath here, a little mini backs cross if they can get out of the backfield between RB and A. So you have a lot of options of what you can try to do with those 2 halfbacks. Be as creative as you would like, but again, the GoGo offset, I don't know. I think there are some good plays in here, but I think GoGo offset over is the only one you could really just sit in that for like an entire game if you really wanted to. These other ones are just good little sprinkles to throw on top. So then we got GoGo slot open, so now we're gonna have the sidecar on the same side as the 2 wide receivers, which is great for trying to flood, like we see right here with PA flood. If they're in any sort of drop zone coverage, flood is always going to work. It's always going to be a good idea, unless, you know, they're doing a bunch of adjustments. They're mabling aside, so they have like a 0-yard flat, a 15-yard flat, and a deep half or something like that. But who does that? Psychos. That's who. Not too many people are going to do that. So being able to flood aside much easier out of this formation is one of the big reasons I like it. And we got some more triple options back in here too. In inside zone, some more crazy looking RPOs. RPO spot wheel. If you can make that read fast enough to throw that wheel route, tip of the cap to you. You deserve it. But some of these pass plays in here, I am a pretty big fan of this PA fin. Anytime you have two receivers or even three on the side, if one of them on a vertical threat, one of the inside receivers, and then your outside one on like a post or a deep dig, always a good route combo, especially against drop zone coverage, because they have to follow that deep threat and they are going to leave a spot right underneath there. So love the PA fin play. And some of these rollout plays are actually not bad. Like, they're not great, but they're not the worst. Like, I do kind of like this PA rollout smash. And again, having a faster quarterback is going to help a lot here. Obviously, this certainly looks like it's going to be press man coverage. Keep the play action. He's going to roll out over here and just nobody wins. Nobody gets open on that. So you could hot route some other things. You know, you could put Hayden, because our play action here is on Welch. So if you want to keep the play action, you can just hot route Hayden out on something. You could cancel a play action and just have Welch be a blocker or something like that. But the problem you're going to run into, can we hit that? Not bad. Is if you want to hot route Hayden, he's kind of the one being more of the swing blocker and letting you roll out. So if you just want to cancel play action and throw Welch out on something, so we can see how he went and helped. Oh, that's a tight one. That's a tight one. But you'd see how the halfback Hayden actually went and helped out on that end. Is the one that allowed us to actually roll out on that play. So just be careful if you are calling some of the rollout stuff. If you hot route the wrong halfback, it might kind of get some extra pressure on you weren't expecting. But yeah, that's really gonna do it for this one, and why I am so excited to use Colorado in the game next year. If we get just this playbook with that team that we went over, with Lewis at quarterback, with those halfbacks, with those wide receivers, it could be a super nasty and super fun, different type of offense for us to run in Road to the College Football Playoff next year. They're not going to be the best overall team, not by a mile, but I think they are going to be a very, very good time. So that is why I'm so excited to use Colorado. You guys let me know, who are you most excited about for College Football 27? I got a few more teams already in mind that we are going to do. These are probably going to be about once a week, mostly because of some new coaches that are coming in, new playbooks getting over to new teams, some transfer portal stuff. A lot to be excited about for College Football 27. I am so excited for that game to come out. Hope you guys are too. And I do hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy.